Hello and welcome to Between the Lines. Coming up in today's show, we sit down with the KU tennis team, take a look back on some sports that happened over the weekend, and finally spotlight a KU athlete. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Weekend Update. I'm your host, Stephen Weiss.
And I'm Vincenzo.
We got a lot of sports to get into this week. First of all, welcome back, Vince. You were sick last weekend. Good to have you back. So first thing we're going to get into here is football. Went to Shepherd. A huge game, Vince. Playing in front of Shepherd's homecoming crowd, which was almost 6,000 people. So a lot of pressure. But came out with the win, 34-27, improving their record to 4-0, 1-0 in the conference. Late in that game, it was a nail-biter once again. They've had a couple of these this season.
They just like to make us scared.
They do.
It close to us.
They are honestly incredibly exciting to watch.
Oh, they are.
But that final drive there, Tyler Borg caught a 2-yard touchdown pass from Colin DeGalbo with 14 seconds remaining to give KU the 34-27 road victory over Shepherd.
Yeah, just to give you a little more insight on DeGalbo, he's played a great season so far. He had 278 yards again, close to 300, which would have been his 7th actually of his career. He had 101 yards on the ground with 3 touchdowns. He's playing lights out. He's playing great. He's a huge leader, and he's a great focal point of that offense.
So earlier in the game, the beginning of the game, Shepherd jumps out to a 14-0 lead. So KU had to work their way back into the game. Abdul Hassan Neblik got the Golden Bears on the board with an 8-yard touchdown run early in the second quarter. And with time running short in the half, Jack Pilkerton scored on a 19-yard toss from DeGalbo to bring KU to 14-12. And then right before the half ended, Shepherd was leading 17-12. But then in the second half, they started to started
moving the
around.
ball more, started doing things. Had probably caught themselves down with that huge crowd out there. It was probably real tough for them. They ended up coming out well. They had a 59-yard reception by Jerry Krapp. He had 3 catches for 59 yards. So it was interesting to see them. They also had, if not mistaken, Jake Pilkerton is now in the top 20 for receiving yards. So that it's 1 of 3 on that team. So it's exciting to see that receiving core just go off.
Everybody's having a great season this year for KU football. So that final drive, once again, like I said, a nail-biter, a 31-yard field goal, not of the game with 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. But KU's the coaching staff, the offensive line, playmakers came up with a big 10-yard play, 10-play, 80-yard march down the field that sucked up all of the 14 seconds remaining left on the clock. A late pass interference call on the Rams set Kutztown up at the 2-yard line, and DeGalbo spotted Tyler Borg open near the front left pylon for the winning touchdown, and it was Borg's second career score. You talked a little bit about how great of a game DeGalbo was having, but not just on the offensive side of the ball. Sean Tuber-Ortiz had a monster day to lead the Golden Bear defense. 16 tackles, all solo, and 2 interceptions. So not only on the offensive side of the ball, they're also making big stops on the defensive side as well.
Great that you mentioned him. He even got Pennsylvania State Athletic TSAC Player of the Week. He got the honors that he's done it for the first time in 3 weeks. So it's nice to see him do that and see guys on the defense side of the ball get as much credit as the offense.
Yeah, the teamwork that this team displays is amazing. Like we said, Colin had another amazing game, and we actually got a chance to sit down with him. So let's take a look at that.
My name is Colin DeGalbo. I'm from Seacane, Pennsylvania, which is in Delaware County. I am a redshirt senior. My major is business management, and I play football. Some professional players I look up to is Drew Brees because of his size and the things he just does on the field. Really gives you some encouragement out there. And Philip Rivers just because the tenacity he plays with and how he just goes out there and gives it his all every time. If I couldn't play football, the sport I'd play is baseball, because there's something about being on that mound and being in control and just taking over a game, and I really enjoy that. I chose to come to Kutztown, one, to get away from my twin. We were always together growing up, so it was fun to get away from him. But Kutztown is just beautiful. It's a beautiful place, and with the coaches, I really felt at home, and I really felt like I belonged here. I got recruited by Coach Quarterman and Coach Clemens, and when I got here, they were really inviting, and they really pushed me and made me become a better person. So it was really a good atmosphere to be in, and I really enjoyed being recruited by them. My favorite professional team is probably the Philadelphia Eagles, just because what they play with and everything they give. They always give 100%, and when one side of the ball isn't doing well, the other side performs better. And Nick Foles is a great guy. I'm going to miss him, but Carson Wentz is going to take over. Tim Tebow was my idol growing up. People always thought I'd play like him, and I really enjoyed it because I was a big boy growing up and just low my shoulder, like running over everyone. So he was definitely a part of it. Favorite football moment was probably the Shippensburg game, my redshirt freshman year. We went in OT. I did a flip in the end zone. I scored a touchdown, broke my toe, but it was awesome. Greatest moment of my life. We finally kicked the field goal for the first time all year, and it was to win the PSAC East. That was definitely a great moment. General overlook of the season is that it's going to be a tough season, but we're going to look at one week at a time. Never look ahead and look ahead of an opponent. So with this week coming up, we're going to just focus on one team only, and then we can see it's going to be a tough year coming up, but we're going to give it all I got each week. My worst injury was when I was a junior in high school. I was rolling left, and I threw the ball and broke my thumb and tore my labrum on the same play. It hurt a little bit, but nothing a little bit of tape and ice can't fix. A couple game day rituals I have is I always eat a Belvita bar right before we go out, and I always listen to Boys That Fall. It's my last song, first and last song I always listen to, and before I go out, it's always on my mind. I mean, I always have to wake up early in the morning. I always have to have my coffee. I know it's not good for you, but you know, it's a ritual, so I can't stop doing it. But it's definitely one that's always been with me and probably will forever. The opponent I hate the most is probably Westchester, but it's like a love-hate relationship. Like, you hate them because they're in your conference, but you love to play them because it's great competition, and you love to give it all you got and just love to have a game against them. The qualities that make a good teammate is definitely togetherness and leadership. You definitely want to be together with your team and give it all you got, and you definitely want to lead and push each player to be the best that they can be. One word I would describe myself is probably courageous, because I'm always putting my body out there. Coaches always tell me to slide, but I'm always the one to dive forward and take a big hit, but definitely a little courageous. I give myself that. Favorite thing to do at the big wins, definitely to go in the locker room and celebrate my boys and my team. You know, we all ran out there and went to war, and it was definitely a great time doing it together. We're definitely going to celebrate together after. Greatest accomplishment is definitely the PSAC East, winning it my redshirt freshman year. It was a good time. We started off 0-3, and then we finished 7-0, so it was definitely a feat that we overcame and really pushed ourselves to the limit. Favorite sports were Remember the Titans, because you know they were different people and they really brought themselves together, and they really came out on top and really pushed each other to be the better person they can be. My greatest strength is probably my togetherness. I'm always about the team, and I always put the team first. And no matter what we gotta do, I don't care if it's 1st and 10 or 1st and 20, whatever play we gotta do or whatever I gotta do to put myself out there on the line for us to win, I'm gonna do for our team.
So congratulations once again to Colin and his team. They're going on the road again this week to face Bloomsburg, trying to keep that 11-game road winning streak alive. But now let's jump into women's soccer. They were at Keystone Field this past Wednesday, had a tough loss against Millersville, 3-0. They had their fair share of scoring chances, but the offense just couldn't get it going. I mean, the Millersville team was
a great team. They're 6-0. They're top ranked. They're one of the top ranked teams in the PSAC. It was really tough for them to get a shot anywhere. They outshot them 9-8, but they just couldn't get anything on goal. They couldn't really do anything. Their best chance came with in the 39th minute when junior Sarah Riley went to try to receive the pass from the 18 and tried to put it in the back of the net, but it sailed right over the top. It was a tough shot, but would really helped them out.
I mean, so what we're seeing, you know, we saw opportunities in that game. Emily's working with a couple as well. But we sort of started, I mean, that game was a daunting task. Millersville had not let up a goal all season to that point, so their defense was amazing, but the team turns it around, traveling to Shippensburg and getting a huge 5-1 victory at Shippensburg. I mean, it's just great to see the offense finally get to break out in that big way.
It seems like they've had a little bit of few issues, little laps and stuff at the beginning of the season. Some teams do that. It seems like they're going to come back. They had a huge win, like you said, at Shippensburg. Hopefully they can keep that momentum and keep winning these games. They're a good team. Just had a really tough task ahead of them the first few weeks of the season, especially with the teams they've been facing.
Yeah, and so like we said, 5-1. 5 goals was the most that they've put up on a team all season, along with 30 shots. Probably their most comfortable win of the season, I'd say. Maddie Searcy led the way with 2 goals, giving her 4 on the year. Emily's Workin, Kayla Argan, and Gabby Kane all found the back of the net once. Just a great bounce back from a hard loss against Millersville. They'll be home for their next 2 contests. KU hosts Bloomsburg on Wednesday night, October 2nd at 7 p.m. That will be live right here on KU TV. Before a home game with Mansfield on Saturday, October 5th at 2 p.m. So now let's jump into this dominant women's field hockey team.
They've been giving everyone the business of late. They won 4-0, against Slippery Rock. They went in there and they played fantastic like they have all season. Mackenzie Furman, she's leading the team in goals. She had an assist and a goal last game against Slippery Rock. They're just playing phenomenal. They're 3rd ranked in the country. They've taken down 2 number 1s. There's really nothing else to say other than they're really just playing better than everybody, it seems like.
And another shutout here.
4th one of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I mean, they're just playing really well. They're improving their record to 6-2, 1-0 in the conference. Another great defensive game by Leah Roselli. Also recorded 2 goals and an assist. And like you said, Mackenzie Furman also tallied a goal in that game. Outside of the double from Roselli and Furman's tally, freshman Abby Thoris scored her first career goal in the 4th quarter to cap the KU scoring and give the offense its most goals since September 8th. And like you said, the fourth shutout out the year. There's dominating teams left and right.
There's nothing really else to say about them. They're playing great. They've been playing great. When you take down 2 number 1s, people start looking at you. And they just keep doing it, and they just keep showing. Like I said, 4th shutout. I think it's the most in the PSAC by a field hockey team, which is incredible. So keep up the work.
Yeah, for real. The Maroon and Gold outshot the Rock 17-2, 15-1 on goal, and also held a 17-2 advantage in penalty quarters. They remain on the road for their next game here Wednesday, October 2nd at Bloomsburg at 4 p.m. Now let's jump into women's volleyball.
They had a loss against Clareton. They went 0-3. It was a 3-0 loss. Haven't been looking too great the past few weeks, but let's hope they can do similar to what soccer's doing and just try to bounce back with a few wins. They have a game coming up this week, if I'm not mistaken. It's on the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th. Yeah,
they have a huge homestand coming here, and all those games will be right here on KU TV. They're 3-1 at home, so hopefully they can bounce back. But that is all the time that we have for you here with Weekend Update. Stay tuned for more Between the Lines.
It's on us to take responsibility for our actions and our inaction.
To do something to get in the way of a sexual assault.
To keep an eye on someone in a vulnerable situation.
It's on us to never blame the victim.
To take reports of sexual assault seriously.
It's on us to hold our friends accountable.
It's on us, all of us, to stop sexual assault.
I took the pledge, and you can too, at itsonus.org.
Welcome to Inside the Locker Room. I'm your host, Hunter Velicki. Joining me today is Amanda Grabowski and Ben Kelly of the tennis team. Thank you guys for sitting down with us. The men's and women's team had their first match this season on September 23rd against Chestnut Hill. What was it like going out there for the first time this season?
It was just really nice to get out there and play. It was a really nice day. Really good practice, I guess, for us.
How was your experience, Amanda?
It was really fun to see the team and the freshmen come on for their first match, see if they were nervous or not, and help them pump them up for the match.
Now, does the first match of the season feel more stressful than any other match during the season?
No, not really. I mean, it's mostly just get the rust off, get more comfortable on court, get ready for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it was mainly like a scrimmage, and it was mainly for practice, just for being comfortable.
Now, how is it, I was looking at the schedule, how is it that the tennis season work? You guys start in the fall, you have a few games in a tournament, and then you pick up again in the Spring, correct? Is that how it is?
Mm-hmm.
No, that is the whole schedule throughout the whole season, correct?
Yeah, we play a couple matches in the fall, but our conference matches are all in the spring.
Okay. And now another question for how does tennis scoring work exactly? Can you give me a small little breakdown of how it is? Nothing too in depth.
So basically, we play best 2 out of 3 sets. A set is broken down to first to win 6 games. Each game is broken down basically first to 4 points.
Mm-hmm. Now, how about the scoring of that? They don't use regular numbers. They call them by different ways, correct?
0 is love. That goes 15, 30, 40, and then game.
Okay. Now, over the summer now, you guys had some time off here. What did you guys do to improve your game?
I mean, I just tried to hit as much as I could. Took a couple lessons here and there, but just hit against other people, I guess.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Amanda?
Yeah, I did the same thing. I worked out at the gym every day.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah.
Now, what does your daily routine look like when it's not volleyball season, tennis season, excuse me?
You mean like for practices?
Yes.
We pretty much practice every day, 2 or 3 hours. We have lifting 2 or 3 times a week, and then matches when we have them, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Now, how do you help during tennis practice? How does your teammates and you help each other improve in the game?
I mean, just by, I don't know, helping each other out, pushing each other as much as we can each practice, and supporting each other.
Mm-hmm. Now, at the start of the season, do you guys have any goals for yourselves that you set?
I'm not sure. I mean, I try to just play as much as I can, try and stay on court as much as I can. Yeah, that's me.
How about you, Amanda? Do you have any goals this season?
I think for when I come to each individual match, I kind of set a goal, like for that specific match. I don't really have an overall goal, I guess, for like the whole season, just to do well.
Now, there are 2 teams, a men and a women's team. Now, how does that work out? How's the dynamic with that? Do you guys practice together, hang out together, or is it separate by yourselves?
I mean, we practice pretty much same times, hang out together, go eat.
Okay.
A lot.
Now, does the team have any goals by itself, not like by a team standpoint?
You mean like team goals?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Not really. I mean, go out and win matches, have fun.
Have fun, okay. Now, both of you, I know, both play singles and doubles. What do you guys prefer? Do you prefer singles or double?
I prefer doubles, actually. It's a lot more fun to me. You have another person out there to help you out.
How do you feel, Amanda? What is
I
your
prefer
preference?
doubles too. It's more of like a team, even though it's a big team, it's like a team within the team. It's more fun that way.
Now, how do you come about then how do you find a teammate that works with you for doubles?
Just by playing with a lot of people, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't.
You practice with them during practice, and you kind of match up with people, and you see like, oh, this flows really well, or if it doesn't.
Now, how does it differ in doubles versus a single match? Like, how does it play differently?
It's a lot quicker. In singles, we just play 1 set instead of the best 2 out of 3.
Okay.
So it's a lot quicker. And then, I mean, it's a lot more. It's a bigger court, so you have more area to cover. A lot more angles and stuff like that.
Do you feel that there's a learning curve when it comes to transitioning from singles to doubles, or is it quite easy to jump right into it?
Oh, that's a good question.
It depends on your level, I guess. If you're playing a high level, it can be tough. But if you're just going out there with a couple friends or something, just hitting around, it's not too hard to pick up.
Now, Amanda, what was your first experience with tennis?
Like when I started playing?
Yes.
I started playing competitively when I was 12.
When you were 12? Okay.
Yes. And I played my whole life.
And how about you, Ben?
Pretty much the same. When I was in middle school, I started playing. Just did like a summer camp, and then from there, started playing more and more.
So what do you think is the hardest skill to learn and or master in tennis?
Honestly, being able to control your emotions on court is tough, just because you're the only one out there. There's a lot of pressure just on you to perform.
Yeah, it's really a mental game.
Okay.
Just keeping yourself in with the points and not breaking down, basically.
Now, assuming you guys are both, because you're both tennis players, do you guys follow professional tennis?
Yeah.
Who would you say, growing up or even now, who was your idol or who is still your idol?
For me, it was, his name is João Martín del Potro from Argentina. I just love his style of play. He's a big serve, big forehand. That's what I tried to emulate for my game.
How about you, Amanda?
Just Serena Williams.
Serena Williams,
Everyone's
okay.
favorite, yeah.
Simple and easy. Now, coming up this weekend, you guys, there is the NCAA Individual Championship in Bloomsburg. Both of you are going to it. What do you? How do you feel about this upcoming weekend?
I think it'll just be really good practice for us. Play against some high-level players and see what we can do.
Yeah, I'm really excited. This is my first time going.
So what is this tournament like? Is it a bracket-style tournament, or is it just a show up, you play 3 days, and just go through, or how does it break it down?
It's a tournament style, so there's a singles and doubles flight, and you basically just get seeded into the tournament and play it out.
Yeah. It's really like bracket-based. So you move up if you win, you don't if you lose.
And what are you hoping? What are you hoping for your outcome this weekend going to be?
Win a couple matches. Learn some things.
Have some fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have today for the Inside the Locker Room. Once again, I would like to thank my guests Amanda Grabowski and Ben Kelly. We'll be back after this commercial break.
Want some new KU merch? Keep your eyes on the ball. Every Monday after a home football game, you get an additional 5% off all Kutztown apparel at the KU campus store for every touchdown we score, starting at 15%. Win or lose. That's 15, 20, 25, all the way up to 40% off all Kutztown apparel. The sale can be used in-store or on the website, kubstore.com.
So my name is Elissa Tomchek. I'm from Plainfield, Connecticut. My major is Applied Digital Arts and I'm a junior. When I was searching for colleges, I was already deciding on one college until the tennis coach got in contact with me. And so this was like the last visit and I hesitated at first if I want to go to school or not. But then at the end, I decided to come here. If I couldn't play tennis, I would have done soccer. My favorite tennis moment? There's so many. It probably would have to be last semester, spring. I played singles and I was going through a panic attack, but at the end I actually won the match while having an emotional breakdown. Before every match, I usually encourage myself, talk to myself, pump me up. And that's pretty much what I do before every match to get me motivated. My favorite type of music I mostly listen to is EDM, electric dance music. I don't have a specific artist I like to listen to. I mostly listen to that before matches. My favorite movie would have to be Spaceballs. My family and I like watch it all the time, so yeah. Biggest accomplishment as an athlete is probably playing a college sport for tennis for my hometown, which is really rare for athletes from high school at my hometown to play in a college level sport. The thing I do after a big win is probably go to Chick-fil-A and eat a lot of food. That's my place to go. Things I do in my free time is creating art, working as an intramural referee. I love creating videos, putting videos together. That's what I want to be able to get out of college. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I usually wear, well this year I'm starting to wear more of my headbands since I have really short hair. I used to have very long hair until I decided to cut it off, so yeah. Least favorite school would have to be Bloomsburg, definitely Bloomsburg. We used to have a teammate who used to play with us, and now she plays at Bloomsburg, so yeah. So what are we doing in APD, Applied Digital Arts? It's pretty much our main focus is animation, 2D animation and 3D animation. And then we also have side tracks, which would be motion graphics where I'm doing, which is pretty much video editing and all that. And then there's the 2D studio, which is pretty much traditional art, character design. 3D studios, mostly 3D modeling, 3D animation. Interactive media is pretty much VR stuff, virtual reality. And then game development is pretty much game design, game art. The reason why I chose motion graphics is because before I even came here, I usually just edit videos on my free time, and I started to love doing that. So that's why I decided to sidetrack as motion graphics. I just get a lot of inspiration from Instagram and those people who make 10-second edit clips. So just pretty much if it pops up in my Explore page, and I'll watch it, or on YouTube. Get some inspiration, yeah. My dream job would have to be probably a graphic designer, pretty much. It's funny because I was supposed with majors, I was deciding on applied digital arts or here, film major, but I decided more APD, applied digital arts, because I love creating art and I love making art come to life. So yeah.
At Kutztown, you'll grow, not into someone new, but into yourself. At your best, there's no limit to what you can do.
And this is Madison MP. And welcome to another week of top Kutztown highlights. Let's bring up some highlights of the Kutztown Golden Bears women's soccer team facing the number 15 ranked Millersville Marauders. Let's get to it. Up first, we have a strong defensive effort on Kutztown's part, as we see Kutztown goalie Jenna Bracken with a save and a booming kick downfield. Here we have a shot go wide right by Millersville's Kay Leibel. Here we have a shot by Kutztown captain Emily Zawerkin, but it is unfortunately short. She led KU in this game with 3 shots. Here we have Kutztown's Rachel Rizzo in an intense struggle to get a shot off, with Millersville defender Callista Paulino. Here is Michelle Belcher with a Millersville goal early on. Up next is junior Shara Reedy with a booming shot that unfortunately hits the crossbar. Kutztown unfortunately falls short, losing to Millersville 3-0. They beat Shippensburg in their next away game, winning 5-1. Their next upcoming home game is against Bloomsburg on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Now let's transition to some KU football. Here for another week of Kutztown football highlights from the game against Gannon. Start off with a ferocious hit from Kutztown's defense on Gannon's running back, Zevin Hooley. Up next, we have Kutztown's own Colin DeGalbo connecting with wide receiver Mason McElroy on a 56-yard touchdown pass. Here we have Colin DeGalbo connecting with sophomore tight end Jack Pilkerton for a nice one-handed grab. Colin DeGalbo throws another touchdown pass to Abdul Hassan Neblet. This one an 8-yarder in the third quarter. Here we have Togba Porte Jr. force a fumble on Jimmy Keff, as Kutztown's Nick Vasker recovers the fumble as well. Kutztown quarterback Colin DeGalbo is added again here, as he scores on a 4-yard touchdown run, ending the third quarter. The Golden Bears would take the lead into the fourth, 28-3. Kutztown ends up winning the game 35-10. Offensive leaders included Colin DeGalbo with 2 touchdown passes and 3 rushing touchdowns, as well as Mason McElroy with 1 touchdown reception and 5 catches. Defensive leaders included Sean Tubert Ortiz with 8 tackles and Naim Navarez with 6. The Kutztown Golden Bears are now 4-0 as they won a pivotal game against Shepherd University this week. They won 34-27 at Shepherd in a thrilling comeback win. They play next week against Bloomsburg University on the road. The Kutztown Golden Bears are now 4-0 as they won a pivotal game against Shepherd University this week. They won 34-27 at Shepherd in a thrilling comeback win. They play next week against Bloomsburg University on the road. I'm Madison Empey, and as always, go Golden Bears.
Well, that's all the time we have this week. Don't forget to tune in next week when we sit down with the rugby team. Remember, outside the lines, you only get the scores, but here at Between the Lines, we get you in the locker room.
KUTV on 3. 1, 2, 3.
KUTV!